just seems to fall in place when I have taken all that I can take. All I have to do is lift my voice and say,
What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up? How you doing, Mr. Jason Clayborn? How you
Man,
doing?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing, bro? I'm glad.
I'm
Thank you,
doing
Big Ben,
good.
for having me on, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm going ahead and go start into the questions. Everybody, y'all make sure you're gonna support Mr. Jason Clayborn and the Atmosphere Changers. Their music's on all digital media platforms. Make sure you go support him. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start. So, what made you get into the industry?
Well, I've been around it a lot, man. I started, of course, with my grandmother and my mother. They kept us around choirs, kept us around groups, and my grandmother introduced us at a young age to the Dorsey Convention, the National Convention of Gospel Choirs and Choruses, which Thomas Dorsey, the father of gospel music, started. And man, when we went to that convention, there were so many gifted and talented um,
Right.
adults and young people from all over the country. And man, we just got cool with a whole lot of people from all over the country, not knowing that years later I would find out that my mom had kind of grew up with Hezekiah Walker and Donald Lawrence in the
Wow.
convention. And so my mom used to tell me stories about when people used to laugh at Donald Lawrence's music back in the day. You know what I mean? And man, and just the relationship that she built with them. So they've been knowing me since I was born, basically. And so when I figured out, I had a gift to write and to sing and to minister, people used to start saying, "Man, you got a unique voice, man." And I didn't realize later on, that God would use me, for such a time as this, man. And I'm just grateful, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So a lot of people don't know that Mr. Jason Claiborne started with the group Righteous Riders. So, like, please tell us how that started. Lord, I
Man,
tell
listen,
you,
man, man, people. I posted a video about that on my Instagram, and people went crazy. They was like, "Man, we didn't even know that was you."
I
And I
did
was
not
like,
know.
"Yeah, yeah, man. I've been here for a minute." So, second year of college, on my way into my third year of college, my financial aid fell through. Black folks, we weren't born into families that had a lot of money. We wasn't sitting on, $100,000, $200,000 in the bank.
Right.
Everybody, we were just trying to survive. So six of us, and me and my brothers and sisters, I'm the oldest, and I took a chance, went to college. But going into my third year, my financial aid fell through, and my mom and them didn't have any more money to put me in school. So I
Wow.
never forget, I was at my great grandmother's house, and my grandmother, who was an avid, she's a school teacher, graduated college, when
Wow.
she was 17, 18, you know, um, skipped 4 or 5 grades. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
She was brilliant. Um, she was like, "You need to go back to school," and I was like, "Well, Nana, I don't have no more, no money to go back." And so I never forget. I got on my knees and prayed at my great grandmother's house. I was like, "God, I
Right.
really want to do this music thing, but I don't know how I'm gonna get into it." And
Yeah.
so a couple friends of mine that were in the rap group Righteous Riders, they had already put an album out. They was looking for a driver to go on the road with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I started off on the road with them as a driver. Wasn't even in the group. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Wasn't even in the group, man. And they were working on their next record. We was traveling up and down the East Coast doing TBN and the Word Network, and they were writing as we was on these long trips for 7 8 hours driving. They was writing raps to beats, and I was coming up with the hooks, and they was like, "Man, we keeping that." And they would write something else, and I would sing it. They'd be like, "Man, we keeping that." And that's how I started. The first thing that I did with them was Bobby Jones, and I met
Wow.
their manager, and the manager was like, "Man, who is this cat? He don't even rap." It was like, "Man, but you gotta hear him. You gotta hear him sing." And so, putting me in the group pulled out the other singers in the group,
Wow.
and We was like the first gospel version of Pretty Ricky.
I ain't gonna lie. What, growing up as a kid, my mom used to play it all the time. I wasn't like really into like gospel rap or anything, but when I heard y'all, I was like, I want to listen to this so many times. I want to listen to that. I want to listen to the vibe. I want to listen to that. It
Yeah,
was just like I was like, okay, it was
because
something new.
we had something fresh, and I think that that's what's crazy is God has always had me to be a part of something that started fresh. So like nobody
Right.
knew where to place Christian hip hop in 2002, 2001. Nobody knew where to place it. So
Right.
we were fresh on the scene, but what helped us is they rapped and we sung. So it kind of pushed
Yes.
us in that gospel door, and then the rap just they fell in love with it, and so man we were that fresh artist, and at that time I don't think nobody knew where to place Christian hip hop. Flame and
Uh.
a cross movement, all of them, they weren't really like they were known underground hip hop, but they weren't really
Right.
mainstream like a gospel gangsters,
Yeah.
or something like that. So, man, we were a part of that, man. It was an era, man, and I'm grateful. It helped me. It helped me with my stage presence, as a singer and as a worship leader.
Yes. But yeah, and as I was researching you, I noticed that you had multiple groups. So you have multiple groups. Is it a reason why you have multiple groups, or is it just like,
Man, people. I feel like people pigeonhole you,
mm-hmm,
to do. So I started off with a group called The Ensemble. That was my first record. And really, the team came out of The Ensemble, just a smaller version of it. The Ensemble at the time, when I first started, it was like a mini choir. It was like 15, 16 people,
wow,
So, um, but they could all sing, produce, write, all of that, man. So, I started with them and I wrote a whole bunch of songs. A friend of mine, Walter Malone the third, he wrote a couple tunes, and we did a concert with all original tunes. And I'll
wow,
never forget, we prepped for like a couple of months to get that done. And we prepped for a couple of months to get that done. And when we did the concert, people came from all over the country. People
wow,
I didn't even know. And when I went back to look at that DVD, it was people that are like playing for like major secular artists now. You know what I
right,
mean? Like I'm talking about like Rihanna and Ariana Grande,
wow,
and it was drummers and sound technicians and cats that was
wow,
young from Chicago and Florida and West Virginia, places we didn't know, not knowing that we would be an influence, early on before the Ty Tributes started really like being popular. You know what I
right.
mean? We was dressing in grunge and wearing mohawks and t-shirts ripped up in church. People like, man, this group is crazy, man. But we brought an oil and an anointing that was unmatched, man.
Yes, but
But
yeah,
but you know what? In gospel music, man, people try to pigeonhole you and put you in one. Like they just
yes,
want you. Yeah, they want you to be a writer, or they want you just
yeah,
to be the singer, or they want you to be just the choir director.
right,
I mean, I want to do all different types of stuff. I got solo stuff. I
right,
just so happened to put a choir album out, my first national album, but I got 4 independent records. You know what I mean?
wow,
So, it took me a minute to get to this point, and I'm grateful, but we never know what, I could work on a solo record next.
right,
As you can see, I'm in my studio.
yep,
I keep, I bought my own equipment. My brother taught me how to run Pro Tools, so I cut my own vocals, all of that. So,
wow.
you gotta make sure that you are, and that's what helped me as a songwriter as well.
Okay. So it's good that you are versatile, like you know how to do everything, because you don't have to rely on nobody to do it for you. So you can do
Right.
it all by yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So
you always need a team. I ain't gonna,
yeah,
and for a minute, but I've learned that, when you got to get something done, learn it yourself.
yep, totally. So I noticed as I was watching on social media that you had written a CCM album with another I forgot, I think his name is eight.
Stephen McWhirter.
Yeah. So please tell us
So,
about that.
man, listen. So during the pandemic, somebody asked me, man, how's your pandemic been? It has been absolutely amazing. I
Right.
mean, I think because I was writing so much before the pandemic, not
Right.
thinking, I was writing gospel like crazy. And then when Better took off for Hezekiah Walker, when I wrote that,
Yes.
I was going back and forth to Nashville writing with different CCM artists. And I had a whole catalog of CCM songs that haven't even been placed yet. But
Wow.
in that moment, I was like, God, why am I writing with all of these CCM writers and none of the songs are getting placed? I was like, well, not knowing that he was preparing me for this season with my bro Stephen McWhirter. And
Mhm.
man, we just dropped an incredible record this past Friday called Highest Praise. It's a duet record with me and him. Man, it's a fresh sound. People say, man, what
Yes.
is this? And I'm like, man, it's a mixture of when you put both worlds together and allow both worlds to be who they are. So it's
Right.
not me trying to be CCM and it's not him trying to be gospel. It is a blend of us coming together and creating a fresh sound of what the kingdom should sound like. A lot of
Yes.
people want that CCM sound. You know what I
Right.
mean? A lot of people want that gospel
Yes.
sound, and it's good. That's our characteristics of where we came from. What I mean?
Right.
Gospel is black, struggle and where we came from and the word and then
Mhm.
CCM, it's where they are in their lives and what happens in their lives. But this is two worship leaders from two different genres coming together and creating something fresh.
You're a genius. You did,
Oh
did
man, bless God, man.
that. That's a genius right there. So when did you have your come to Jesus moment? When you first accepted the Lord as your Lord and Savior?
Okay, like for real.
Yeah,
Okay.
for real.
Um, I was at college, um, second semester. I had just came back from a convention. And I never forget a major artist told me, man, I want to work with you. And I'm going to call you. And I was waiting at the dorm for that call and never got the call. Um,
Uh,
in college, and the Lord spoke to me and said, I'm going to show you who's real and who's fake. And I said, well, that's kind of a vague statement. You
right.
know, I said, I'm going to show you who's really for you and who's really supposed to be in your life. And he removed everybody. He said, you're going to spend time with me. You're going to eat with me. You're going to do everything with me in this next 4 months. And I was like, well, what does that mean? Man, people stopped talking to me. People stopped trying to be around me. I'll never forget
Wow.
one night, some guys on the campus were going to this club. And after God had told me he wanted to spend time with me and wanted me to, spend time with him, I was like, okay, whatever. I was young. I was 19, 20. Um, I went to the club anyway. The guys as I was with, man, they got into this huge fight at the club. And I'll
Wow.
never forget, man, we were jumping back in the dude's car to head back because these big white dudes was just throwing people, boom, boom,
Wow.
throwing them everywhere, man. And I went to a college that was a smaller college um, uh, in the middle of nowhere, so in kind of a white rural town. And I never forget, man. I saw this dude running at me with this big old log, man, like he was going. I just knew. I was like, man, my life is over, man. So he got
Wow.
ready to hit me with the log, and he looked at me like he saw a ghost. He was like, and he turned and went the other way and ran and hit somebody else with the log. And I'm turning around looking like,
Right.
what is going on? Man, it was the Lord protecting me, man. An angel or something around me protecting me, man. And when I got back to that school, man, everybody acted like they didn't know me or they didn't want to talk to me. Or, man, you did this, you did that, man. And then God spoke to me and said, I told you, I want your time. And
Right.
man, the rest of that semester, man, I sat with him, prayed, I spent time with him. And not until the last day of that semester, when I got ready to leave, people was like, all right, Jay, I'll see you later. Like they had talked to me for the last 4 months. It was
Wow.
incredible, man. I was just like, wow, God, this is crazy. Like you, you do have all power. And that really connected me with God and made me rededicate my life to him in that moment. And that was 2001.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So you mentioned about Better, the song Better from
Yeah.
Tyscot Walker, which I never knew. I thought he written that for the longest. I was like, and then when I read your press kit, they said you wrote it. I was like, so now I feel like he getting all the credit. I don't know, but yeah, please tell us about that.
Now I'm getting some checks from that. So
You gotta
it ain't
get
all it
checks.
ain't get all.
He said he
So
ain't getting that much.
yeah. So going back first, my first song with him was "You're All I Need" on the Sold
Yes,
Out album. It was never a single,
yes.
um, and it was getting play on radio, and churches were singing it all around the country. So I thought that was my moment in 2008. So I was writing, trying to send songs out to everybody. I got a notebook somewhere over here where I was writing. There wasn't an artist that I didn't send the song to, and nobody was picking them. I mean, independent artists was picking songs. And 2016, I sent some songs to Bishop. He was looking for songs. He was like, "I like these songs, um, but write me one more."
Hmm.
Wednesday night Bible study while my pastor was preaching. He told a story about a 90-year-old lady that had walked up to him after a deacon had stolen all the money from the church when he had just taken over the church. 91-year-old lady walked up to him and said, "You know what, baby? Eventually it's going to get better." And when he said that while he was preaching, I wrote all of the lyrics down on the back of some message notes without no melody. I mean,
Wow.
people come, people go. Your life has been out of control. You're confused. Don't worry your soul. It will get better. Came to me like water. Find the praise within your heart. Hold it close. Don't ever depart it. It gets cold in the night, but you'll be all right. I
Right.
just came. And then later that next day, I went up to my studio. I put all my equipment in my office and church and cut it to a click track. No music.
Wow.
Sent it to my boy GJ Hatcher, the second, who is my MD, who produced my latest album with the atmosphere changes. Sent it to him. He put music to it. We sent it off to Bishop. It was like March. He was like, "I love it. Let me sit with it." Didn't hear nothing for the next 4 months.
Wow.
Not until November, into October, going into November, I was at a birthday party with my sister-in-law. And my boy Ron called me. He was like, "Yo, son," from New York. He said, "You're not going to tell me that you got the single?" And I was like, "The single for who?"
Huh.
I didn't even know. And so
Wow.
they were in the studio recording it. And Don Jackson from the Stellars came to the studio and was like, "I love it. Y'all perform it. Y'all gonna do it on the Stellars." That was 2016. We did it at the Stellars. Somebody had their phone out. It went viral before the song had even came out. 2017, it went number one for 18 weeks on the billboards
Wow.
straight. Man, it just that's when everything popped and it started changing my life. I survived it for Ricky Dillard, Wes Morgan's "God Will Get Me Through." I mean, and then everybody was calling for songs, man. And now, God has allowed me to be one of the household writers for gospel music now.
Wow. Wow. And like I said, I did not know that you wrote "I Survived It." You know that. So you getting the checks, so that's all that matter. He said, "I'm getting the checks."
but what's incredible though, and I say that because you want to say for independent artists and people that are in this industry, you
Right.
want your gift to make room for you. You know what I mean? You don't want to just be doing this, but the best reward out of all of it is watching people's lives change, watching people to say that they was going to commit suicide and that song brought them through. It brought them through a situation with their family members, their marriages, their divorces, their up times, their down times. That's the biggest reward of writing
Right.
material and sitting and writing these songs and watching people all over the world sing your music is incredible.
Awesome. Awesome. So what was it like winning a Dove Award and getting their first BMI award? How did you feel when you first got that?
Man, I was Man, it was surreal. Going to the Grammys and being nominated for a Grammy, being nominated for pretty much every music award you can be nominated
Wow.
for. I keep them on my wall, the BMI awards and then the Grammy medallion from Tiffany's. It's a little tarnished
Wow.
now, but I keep it on me just to remind me that um, God is, He's a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. And at that moment, I didn't really get to enjoy all of the accolades because I was using it to hustle. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh
Right.
yeah, this is the moment. Let me get here and let me grind it out like a hustler. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I wasn't realizing that God was trying to teach me to enjoy these moments, and that was an incredible season of my life. Incredible. So I'm grateful. I was sitting there, man, like, what in the world? I couldn't believe it, man. When they called my name, I sat there for a minute, and my manager was like, "Man, you won." I was like, "Won what?" And he was like, "Man, yo, you got to go get that." Sitting at the Grammys, walking down the Grammy red carpet, and I mean, just all of that, man. It's just incredible, man. And this was before anybody. I mean, people. I had a following as an independent artist, but nationally, a lot of people didn't know that I was an artist and that I could sing. You know
Wow.
what I mean? I remember at the Stellars this year when I opened up, Jonathan McReynolds was like, "Man, you can sing." I didn't even know. You know what I mean? And everybody was just flipping out, man. So, I'm grateful, and now that, everybody can attach my name to my work.
Right. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I used to try to practice your low range. I'll be want to try that low range.
Sorry, bro, go on.
So we all know that you're a producer, songwriter, and every songwriter. You're a leader of the atmosphere changers. But what do you do outside of that? Like, what do you do on a normal day basis?
Oh man, I'm married, almost going on 10 years.
Wow.
My daughter just started college. She's 18. She's in theatrical school at the University of Kentucky. My son is 8. Um, he plays basketball. So I'm a father on everyday basis, man. You know, my son was just coming in there telling me, come and tucking me in. So, I live regular life, man. Pay bills like everybody else. Work. I'm still the
Right.
worship leader at my church. I've been there 17 years now. And somebody's like, man, why don't you move to Atlanta, or why don't you move to New York, or why don't you move to DC, or
Right.
what I need to move for? God shut everybody down and put everybody on the same page.
Right.
And we had to learn how to adapt for the last 2 years. And just it don't matter where you're from now. God can take anybody from anywhere and make it beautiful.
Yes, totally. So, oh yeah, I'm from Kentucky too as well. So shout out to Kentucky.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Please tell us, how do you balance your ministry and your daily life? Is it like a routine, or is it how do you balance both of them?
You have to and ministry never stops, but you have to learn how to unplug. And I think that's the biggest thing. Mondays, I really, you know, I did this for you. But Mondays normally
Wow.
I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. This is the day that I kind of take and just be Jason, not
Wow.
Jason the
Thank you.
artist, the worship leader. No problem. I went took my family, all of my brothers and sisters, and my son, and my father. We went to the zoo today. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And I had my nieces and nephews over to spend the night last night. I stayed up playing video games with them all night. And
Right.
and then tomorrow I get to my work days. And I learn how to divert. You got to take weekly mentally. If you
Right.
don't do it, if you don't do it mentally for your mental health, you got to make sure that you take time and pull away. So Mondays, Fridays, we used to have church on Saturdays, but now we don't have it on Saturdays. I take that time for me and myself, my family, my wife, all of that. I make sure I take time to do what I need to do for them, and then I get back to ministry on the days that I do that on.
Wow. So please tell us more. What are you gonna do next? What is next for Jason Clayborn? What is next?
Man, when people ask me that, it's crazy because, you know, I always plan early. You know, I'm really honestly ready for another Atmosphere Changers album because we sat on this album through the pandemic. So um, I'm about to randomly drop a song from the next record featuring a major artist, and I'm gonna shoot a music video, all of that. I mean, I'm always thinking of stuff to do to stay fresh. People like to see you and want content, and
Right.
people's attention span is like 2 weeks now for albums. It used to be you could sit with a record for years, and then a lot of times it
Yes.
takes time people to catch up to your ministry. So I got 5 albums out now, so people are like,
Wow.
"Man, we going back and listening to your old stuff." So, and then I'm like, "Well, I'm ready for new stuff." So it's trying to balance. So I mean, it could be another Atmosphere Changes record next. It could be a Jason Clayborn album solo situation. Um, it could be either one of those. So that I'm working with Stephen McWhirter. We just dropped this record, Highest Praise. Go get that. We're promoting that and pushing that. We got a big live event on 11/19 for this album release. I know it's a month later, but that's when we could get the church we wanted to do it at. So I'm doing that, shooting this new song called "I'm a Champion" with the Atmosphere Changes. It's an incredible song, and it's a chant. I want everybody to sing it. We're gonna have a good time with that. And promoting what we got out now. God Made It Beautiful album. Jason Clayborn and the Atmosphere Changes. Go get it on all media outlets. We got 4 music videos to that record. So not only can you listen to it, but you can
Right.
visually go and watch the music videos that are connected. And we really try to be a little bit more creative with our songs and these songs that we put out. I know God Made It Beautiful. We're from the city of Louisville where Breonna Taylor was murdered.
Wow.
And we wanted, during that time, we wanted to make sure that we highlighted not just the bad stuff that was going on, but some good things that were happening in the midst of that and how it's bringing communities together and different things of that nature. But I got a lot. I'm on
Yeah.
Kevin Lemon's new album as a songwriter. I got 2 songs on there, and I'm leading the song. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I wrote All the Glory on his new album, and I sang and wrote on Best Praise on his record. Bishop E. Dewey Smith's new album, I got a big song on there that's coming out. Um, Man, I'm working with Bishop on some special stuff, working on some movie stuff. Man, all of it, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready to
Very, very
do
busy.
everything.
Very, very
So
busy.
yeah, man.
Well, I don't know how you balance all that, but you're doing it.
Thank you, man.
I give you
Appreciate it.
100% props for that. And I
Appreciate
was
that.
just going to mention, you already said something about the music videos. I'm about to say, I looked at the music videos; it all came out 4 in a row. I was like, how do you get the concepts for these videos like back to back like that? Because some people can't really come out with concepts of videos very quick like that.
So I wanted to do I wanted to come in this industry like the Drake and the Young Money of gospel. So, I have a team of people around me that are incredible, and a lot of talented young adults that are around me, from stylists to models to producers to graphic artists to videographers. I just could, and I kept my foot connected and my hand connected to the streets. So a lot of young entrepreneurs that are coming up, we all just work together, man. And I
Wow.
met some young cats that didn't charge me a whole lot, you know what I'm saying, to
Mm.
shoot the music videos, and they are incredible. And they wanted to do something gospel. They always shot hip hop videos, and they was like, man, we want to do something fresh. So man, I just stepped out on faith, took some money out of my pocket, and we shot the video.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So one more last question, then we're gonna go ahead and head
cool.
out because I know you had a long
No,
day.
man, you good. You good, bro.
But yeah, so what is one of your favorite Bible scriptures?
Ah, man, Galatians 6:9. Let us not get weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap, and if we faint not. Key points to that verse that stuck out to me was in your well doing. Don't get weary in your well doing. So if man is not praising you in your well doing, that does not mean God is not watching. And I think we focus on so many times um, the accolades of man. You know
Right.
what I mean? These are cool. These are cool. But the accolades and the recognition from God is a lot better, and understanding that He gets the glory out of everything. I think that
Right.
that's key. That we cannot get caught up on um, the glitz and glamour. God will bring elevation, but we need to get caught up
Yes.
on the lives that we're changing and the people that we're touching. And I think that that's key in ministry. If you are an artist and you're doing it just because you have the gift to sing, or you're writing because you have the gift to write, you are not doing it for the right reason.
Right.
You need to make sure it's not by who you know. Ain't nobody I don't know. People say they're gonna help you, say they're gonna do what they do. God is your help. And if you really believe that, have faith in Him. And in the season, it says, in due season you shall reap if you faint not. So the
Right.
problem is we faint because we don't get that stamp from a certain person or a certain group of people. When
Right.
God has already stamped you. Kevin Bond said that to me, and it stuck with me. And you don't need no approval. And I remember when I got my first songs placed. Donald Lawrence told me, he said, you already a great songwriter. You don't need approval from anybody else. Why are you
Wow.
looking for man's approval? We're always looking for man's approval
Proven.
because
Yes.
we think once somebody stamps you, we have it the worst in gospel music world. We kind of crabs in the barrel, but
Right.
it's easier for the hip hop artists to stamp each other and pray, work together. I think we're learning more and more. We're doing better with it now, but we just have to understand that God brings elevation. So in the season, and then plant your tree by a flowing river and not
Right.
by a flowing river and not by a pond. So somebody say, Jay, what are you talking about? Plant your tree by a river and not a pond. A pond is still water. For ye shall
Right.
be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters to bring forth fruit in season and out of season. I think that's Psalms 1, verse 5 or 6 ish. Um,
Yeah.
you got to plant your tree by water that's flowing. That way, when it's winter outside, you'll still have apples on your tree. So
Right.
somebody said, man, how are you working like this in the fall and the winter? That's because I planted my tree by a river that's flowing. And I
Wow.
planted my tree not just by a river that's flowing, but up under a covering, a church that is feeding me. And even when things didn't go right, I still stayed. And shout out to my church and my pastor. I want to do that
Yes.
always. St. Stephen Baptist Church in Louisville, Kentucky. Reverend Dr. Kevin W. Cosby is my pastor. Shout out to him. And that's my dog. He stays on me, and he's taught me not just how to be a man of God, but how to be a businessman as well.
Wow. So, man, I'm out of words. That was deep.
man,
In
man,
fun.
listen, this thing, man, it's a walk, man. It's not a
Yeah.
it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So if you're thinking that you're gonna get through this, real quick, you got to endure. So people that train for marathons train for years.
Right.
So Big Ben, you're gonna get to to the big TV show. You're gonna get to that, but you are training now for you're training in the marathon. You're for the decathlon. You're training now to get to the finish line.
Yes, sir.
And on the way, we have to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
If I would have never took that call with the Righteous Riders as a driver, I wouldn't be here right now.
Wow.
I think everybody needs to listen to me. As a driver, I wasn't in the group yet, but God knew what he was doing. So if he puts you near the stage as a curtain closer or as a light technician, and you got the gift to be on stage, that don't mean he's not going to put you on stage yet. So you always have to be a servant. You have to keep, somebody just said it in the chat, you took the words right out of my mouth. You got to be a servant of the Lord, and we're all servants at the end of the day. All right? Be a servant and have a servant's heart. And if you continue to keep that, elevation will come.
Yep. You're right. You are totally right. You are totally right. Now, I'm out of questions. Hold up. Somebody did tell me. Someone told me that you were related to TD Jakes.
Man, no, who said that?
Yeah, someone said you were related to TD Jakes. I was like,
well, tell him I said thank you. You know, I'd love to, meet him or go to his. I've been to his church. I've never sang there or anything, but I'd love to actually get down and speak to that man of God. But like I said, everything that's happened to me has been because I've just been still and waited. I was asleep when I got the call for the Stellars.
Wow.
I was on my way to take my family on vacation. It was the farthest thing from all the Stellars are coming. Okay, I got a record out, not knowing that God was setting it up. And not only to be on the Stellars, but to open. I mean, when I walked out on that stage, I saw people that know me and were like, what? How did that happen? Artists that I've seen go past me that are major artists now that I remember when nobody knew who they were. I remember when James Fortune opened up for us, the Righteous Riders, in 2002. And he only had a following in Houston. I remember Anthony Brown getting ready to drop his first record. I was riding in the car with him when I went out to his church to do a workshop for the young people there at First Baptist Glen Arden. And he played me songs from Everyday Jesus record. Before he got signed, I was there. You know what I mean? I've been around, man. I've been and not lurking in the shadows because that sounds spooky, but I've been there, and people are looking at me like, man, I know this dude. And I'm like, I've been around. I was standing right next to you, didn't even see me. And but God did. God saw me. And God, he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
Yep. I noticed one thing about you. Like, you're not like the other gospel. I'm not saying particular people, but like how other gospel artists is. They're like, you have all these things under you, and like they come off very arrogant. Some other people come off very arrogant, but you respond quickly to your comments on your posts. You interact with your people on your page. I don't see that at all with mainstream artists at all no more. At all.
Man, you'd be surprised how many artists don't talk to me or I follow, or when they found out I got signed, they don't even say what's up or nothing. But it's cool.
Right.
If we're going to be like Jesus, that's what Jesus did. Jesus hung out with the cats in the hood. He went to the club. I think people don't realize that he went to a wedding, which was a party, and they ran out of wine, and he turned more water into wine. I think they don't realize that his tax collectors was thug. Peter was a thug. He sliced dude's ear off When
Yep.
they was trying to take Jesus away in the Garden of Gethsemane. And Jesus was like, nah, bro, you can't do that. Put dudes here back on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was with tax collectors and money changers and fishermen, hustlers. You know what I mean? He even had a cat that didn't like him that was still a part of the squad. He sat there at the Last Supper and was like, man, one of y'all are gonna betray me, and two of y'all are gonna deny me.
Right.
And they was like, us? No, 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 us, no, no. You see what I'm saying? So if
Right.
he went through that, we got to be reachable, and we got to be, as God blesses us, and as God does what He does in our life, we have to share the favor and be the light. We got to be the
Right.
light.
So you have a funny moment, like out since you've been in the industry so long, do you have that one funny moment that you could never forget? Like it was really funny and everything?
Um, I'm gonna tell you this one was crazy.
Okay.
There's a couple. There's a couple. So
Okay.
I never forget. I was on tour with Ron Canoli. Ron Canoli is like the Israel Houghton of the '80s. He was the first black guy, really. If you look him up. Ron Canoli is a goat. Israel Houghton wouldn't be who he was without Ron Canoli, hands down.
Wow.
Ron Canoli, when you saw the infomercials back in the day, where you saw a black dude standing on the stage, two black dudes standing on the stage with a white choir behind them, one of them dudes was Ron
I never
Canoli.
seen. I
So,
never.
so you
I,
gotta
I
you
got
gotta go look
research.
him up, bro. You gotta
Okay.
research him. He's a goat. He has two sons they named the Canoli brothers. That's how I met him.
Wow.
Worldwide, one of the biggest artists ever on Integrity Music. Traveling overseas with him. This is my third stint. He helped me fill up two passports. I've been all over the world in my 20s. 13 different countries. Crazy.
Wow.
Was in Nigeria. We took 8 Tumi bags of product, 80 pounds a piece. Took 6 of them to an event. We got ready to pull up to an event. And I asked the lady how many people were going to be there tonight. She said, oh, roughly about 80 to 100,000. I was like, what? At a church service?
Right.
I was like, what? She said, yeah, the church has gotten so big, we've had to take the walls off the church for the people to fit. Man, I went in that place, man, and we gave the workers 6 bags of the 80-pound bags of product. Before he got up to sing, the lady came back and said, Mr. Clayborn, do you have any more product? I was like, man, I just gave you 6 bags, 80 pounds apiece. She said, it's
Wow.
gone. He hadn't even sang yet. He's like the Michael Jackson of Christian music in
Wow.
overseas. Man, I never forget, sat in a room with him and garbage bags of money and poured it out on the floor like we were Scarface, and we sat there and counted money for 2 hours.
Hmm.
And I never forget, that was one moment. Second moment before Ron Canoli was Japan with Hezekiah Walker, and
Wow.
walked in the room. This is before flat screen TVs that came to the States. So I walked in the hotel room. I was like, man, they ain't even got no TV in here.
Hmm.
And so I'm looking around and I see a remote, but I don't see no TV. Click the remote, and the picture on the wall came on as the TV. And I was like, that was the first time Hezekiah Walker bought a flat screen and brought it back home before they even came. He was one of the first people in the States to have a flat screen TV.
Wow.
I saw people paying with their phones 2 years, 3 years before they started doing it here.
Wow.
I saw the Apple Watches before they came here. I saw somebody on their watch with headphones plugged into it walking down the street talking in Japan. And I'm like, and this was like 2004 or 5.
Wow.
Before it even came here. Apple Watches, all that wasn't even here yet. Those are the 3 moments. I've had some crazy moments. Those are 3 moments. Oh, one more. I gotta tell this. Because now you're in jolting me. Righteous Riders, 2003, Germany with Tone.
Wow.
One of my dogs, I will always respect him because he's the first artist to respect me as an artist and a songwriter. He set Indian style at Bobby Jones' Las Vegas retreat when he used to have it back in early 2000s. And listened to the 5 songs that I recorded in the studio and wouldn't let nobody stop him. And I respect that cat always. I got mad respect for him. He knows it. And he's a true artist. But, man, first time I had seen a room full of people at the Army base, packed, sold out concert. Tone did this song called The Holy Ghost Bounce. I don't know if he remembers or not, but he had this song, Do You Want to Bounce? And it had this crazy scream in it. Yeah, it was crazy. He did the song once. He's like, do it again. He did it 2 times. He's like, do it again. The 3rd time he did it, he had somebody go get some water guns. And we was on stage with him, super soakers, squirting super soakers in the audience. While we singing this Holy Ghost Bounce song, dude. And I'm like, what is going on? Crazy, man. So it's incredible the things that the Lord has allowed me to experience in my ministry, and I'm looking forward for many more, and for more songs that the Lord gives me and has given me to bless the world. So I'm grateful, man. Thank you, Big Ben, man, and anytime, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm just letting you know I'll be playing your music on 3 of my stations. If you want to go ahead and put that on there.
Appreciate it.
Pushing it on my end. I'm gonna do the best I can. But yeah,
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna
bro.
do it. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this interview because you didn't have to accept it. You could have been.
No
You just
problem.
like, I don't want to interview with him. Next person.
That ain't me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you as well. So I'm going to play our outro video and then play one of your videos before we leave.
Let's do it.
And hopefully,
y'all follow me. Follow me on Jason Clayborn 44 on Instagram. Follow the Atmosphere Changers on Instagram if you want to book us. TheAtmosphereChangers.com. Go check us out, man. We got a lot of videos on YouTube. Check us out, man. And we love to come to your churches, be a part of your music ministries. I'll bring me by myself, my MD. I'll bring me and 3 singers, me and 10 singers, me and the whole 25 in the choir, whatever, whatever works. So follow us and support our music, man. We got an album out, Jason Clayborn and the Atmosphere Changers. God Made It Beautiful. And then I have another record out. There it is. That's the album cover. Y'all go get it. And then I got Highest Praise out that just released with Stephen McWhorter. So y'all go grab that. And man, many more things to come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm going to play the clip for your the Highest Praise promo video.
Cool.
One more thing before we do go into the videos. So you know what? I know you told us the date for the concert. So do you know where the place is at and where's it going to be at? Because I want to see if I can.
It's going to be at the Believers Church. It's right off of Smyrna Road in Louisville, Kentucky, 1119 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on out, bro. You got VIP. So you come on. Go in the link in my bio on my Instagram and just the tickets are free. Go in, click the ticket, and then just put my name beside it and say I said you VIP. And then y'all go in, come 1119. It's going to be crazy. It's not just me and Stephen McWhorter. It's going to be a full band. We got the Atmosphere Changers will be there.
Yes,
it's going to be crazy, y'all.
Okay.
Of course, CDC guidelines, if you're not vaccinated, you got to wear a mask and then show your vaccination card. All that. I got my booster, so we ready to roll.
I got to get mine tomorrow, so.
Yeah, man. I got mine. I'm ready. I'm ready to get on the good foot.
Yes, sir. But I still wear my mask regardless. I don't care if I got
Me
the
too.
vaccination or not, because you
Me
can still
too.
get it. Honestly,
Yeah.
you can still get it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm glad they did a booster for the Pfizer people so that